I lost my job. Now what? How am I going to take care of my family? How am I going to take care of my mom? I remember when I walked out of the job that I was working at a time in a supermarket. I was making minimum wage. When I was walking home taking the SkyTrain, that was the question that I was thinking. What am I supposed to do? It's very nerve-wracking, it's very frustrating, and very depressing, thinking about how I'm gonna pay rent, how am I gonna eat, and do I need to use my credit card when I've already maxed out my credit card? What am I gonna do when I'm already in debt?
I only want to talk to those of you who want a great career. I know some of you have already decided you want a good career. You're gonna fail too, because goodness, you're all cheery about failing. Canadian group, undoubtedly. Those trying to have good careers are going to fail because really good jobs are now disappearing. There are great jobs and great careers, and then there are the high workload, high stress, blood-sucking, soul-destroying kinds of jobs, and practically nothing in between. So the people looking for good jobs are going to fail. I want to talk about those looking for great jobs, great careers, and why you're going to fail. First reason is that no matter how many times people tell you, if you want a great career, you have to pursue your passion, you have to pursue your dreams, you have to pursue the greatest fascination in your life. You hear it again and again, and then you decide not to do it. It doesn't matter how many times you download Stephen Jay's Stanford commencement address, you still look at it and decide not to do it. I'm not quite sure why you decide not to do it. You're too lazy to do it, it's too hard, you're afraid if you look for your passion and don't find it, you'll feel like you're an idiot. So then you make excuses about why you're not going to look for your passion. And they are excuses, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go through a whole long list. Your creativity and thinking of excuses not to do what you really need to do if you want to have a great career. So for example, one of your great excuses is, well, great careers are really and truly, for most people, just a matter of luck. So I'm going to stand around, I'm going to try to be lucky, and if I'm lucky, I'll have a great career. If not, I'll have a good career. But a good career is an impossibility, so that's not going to work. Then your other excuse is, yes, there are special people who pursue their passions, but they are geniuses. They are Stephen Jay. I'm not a genius. When I was 5, I thought I was a genius, but my professors have beaten that idea out of my head long since. And now I know I am completely competent. But the point stands, you must look for alternatives so that you find your destiny. Or are you afraid of the word destiny? Does the word destiny scare you? That's what we're talking about. And if you don't find the highest expression of your talent, if you settle for interesting, what the hell ever that means, do you know what will happen at the end of your long life? Your friends and family will be gathered in the cemetery, and there, beside your grave site, will be a tombstone, and inscribed on that tombstone it will say, "Here lies a distinguished engineer who invented Velcro." But what that tombstone should have said in an alternative lifetime, what it should have said if it was your highest expression of talent, was, "Here lies the last Nobel laureate in physics, who formulated the grand unified field theory and demonstrated the practicality of warp drive." Velcro indeed. One was a great career. One was a missed opportunity. But then there are some of you, in spite of all these excuses, you will find your passion, and you'll still fail. You're going to fail because you're not going to do it. Because you have invented a new excuse. Any excuse to fail, to take action. And this excuse I've heard so many times. Do you really want to use your family? Do you really ever want to look at your spouse and your kid and see your jailers? There was something you could have said to your kid when he or she said, I have a dream. You could have said, looked the kid in the face and said, go for it, kid. Just like I did. But you won't be able to say that because you didn't. So you can't. And so the sins of the parents are visited on the poor children. Why will you seek refuge in human relationships as your excuse not to find and pursue your passion? You know why. In your heart of hearts, you know why, and I'm being deadly serious. You know why you would get all warm and fuzzy and wrap yourself up in human relationships. It is because you are. You know what you are. You're afraid to pursue your passion. You're afraid to look ridiculous. You're afraid to try. You're afraid you may fail. Great friend, great spouse, great parent, great career. Is that not a package? Is that not who you are? How can you be one without the other? But you are afraid. And that's why you are not going to have a great career. Unless that most evocative of all English words, unless. But the unless word is also attached to that other most terrifying phrase. If only I had, if only I had, if you ever have that thought ricocheting in your brain, it will hurt a lot. So those are the many reasons why you're going to fail to have a great career. Unless